Today's tutorial, we're going to be compositing elements in Premiere Pro to make a finished video product. First thing we need to do is open Adobe's Premiere Pro. First thing we have, once Adobe's Premiere Pro CS5 has opened up, a dialog box where we can open a new project, which is what we're going to do, open a new project. Now this project is going to be in HDV. And I'm going to be saving it to the location, David Smouha Documents, Adobe Premiere Pro 5. It's going to be called Dance and Groove, so put the name in there. I better put one there because I already have that. And so I'm going to go OK. And the next thing it wants to come up with the dimensions in pixels, the aspect ratio. And as I said, it's HDV. We're going to be doing it in HDV 720p at 25 frames per second. And you can rename the sequence. We can just call it grooving or call it dance and groove, whatever you like. I've got a few names similar because I've been playing around with this, so I'm just going to make this a bit different and go OK. Now, accessing the student data drive will be like what I'm going to do here. You'll access the student or teacher data drive to go to the folder with TAFE clips on it. But what I'm doing is I'm going to import, and importing the clips from a little external flash drive, and it's called the TAFE clips folder. All the files in the folder. There we go. It's imported them nice and quickly. And what I'm suggesting with this one is we're going to be putting all the video to the audio track. So I'm just going to grab the audio track, bring it down here, and no, that's not the audio track. Here's the audio track. So I'm going to be dragging the audio track down and putting it in the timeline. There we have it. With this little adjustment here, we can open the timeline up so we've got more detail. It goes for a total of 1 minute and, well, just under 1 minute, 30 seconds. And we're aiming to try and do like a minute in this one here today. So what's going to happen every time I import one of these clips, the video clips, they're going to have the audio attached, and we've already allayed the audio. So I'm just going to grab one of these. I've got the audio attached to them. We're actually going to have to unlink the audio when we put it on to lay it with this audio track. So as you'll see, as I bring it down, it doesn't want to. I don't want to put it in there because it's going to cut out the audio that I want to overlay it. So I'm going to put it there. Then I'm going to control click or right mouse click on a PC. And I'm going to unlink that file. Then I have to click out of the file and back onto the file. I'll click the audio and delete it. So now I've got my... And I'm going to use that as an intro track. That's just the intro, that bit of lighting and dance. So that's me scrubbing. And I've got a Dance and Groove Alpha channel movie, which I prepared, which is I've done in After Effects, and it actually pulses along with the music and is designed to start right at the very beginning of the soundtrack. So there we go. We're going to put that on, which is an overlay. You get the idea? Now to try and put that in a bit more gently, we're going to go into Video Transitions, and in the Dissolves, we've got an additive dissolve. No, we've got a cross dissolve. That's what we want. We're going to just drag cross dissolve over and put it on the beginning, and we'll put it on the end as well. You've got to drop it in just the right place to get it to go across. So there's our cross dissolve. Now what we're going to do, we'll leave that like that. And we're going to grab, what's it, 3? We're going to have to look at the files a bit. So I think that's probably a good place to come in there. Or maybe a tad before. Just on the moving bit there is good, because moving from one to the other with the motion, it tends to give it a good clean sweep. And what we'll do is we'll be able to toggle this around to get it so that the DJ is moving in sync with the music. So we've got an in there. I might just turn the volume down a bit. There we have a good action to go out on. And so I'm going to grab that with those edit points. That'll come over with the edit points that I just did the in and out on. And I'll pop it there. And I have to do the same thing again. I have to unlink. That's a right click on your mouse. Unlink. So those are now unlinked. Click out. Click back in. Click on the audio. Delete the audio. And bring this one back down into the timeline so that I can do a nicer edit on it. Well, I don't know that you'll need a cross dissolve because it's a fairly fast action thing, so you don't really need to be too smooth with cross dissolves and things. Yeah, that doesn't need a cross dissolve. Let's just see how it syncs with the music. Well, that still works anyway. I'm not going to, take a lot of time doing that. We're going to move on. We need to find a filler piece for here. And from memory, I think in clip 5, I've got something about halfway through where the camera pans off the DJ. And goes out to the dance floor. So we might do that just to establish we have a DJ there who we're going to come back to. So we'll put an in there. And it looks like we're looking for about 7 or 8 seconds only. So that should do it there. And then just come back over to and drag it from there. And we can always lengthen this, you see. So we can just get the automatic little handle that comes on the end there and lengthen it out so it actually does fit. And let's kill the link, otherwise we're going to have all sorts of horrible sounds as they try and compete with each other. Let me just delete that. So let's just see how we go. But anyway, we're going to leave it there because you're going to experiment this with yourselves in your own video. And that's what the purpose of this was, just to give you an introduction after the brief tutorial that we did on Premiere as a workspace. And now you're getting the idea of how we're going to piece this together and the elements that I've given to you. And I want you to get in there and do something that's about a minute long for a promo just called Dance and Groove. And you don't have to use the text that I've put in there with this dance and groovy bit. We've also done a tutorial earlier today where you did just a 2D title in Photoshop and export it as a PNG file, which you can drop in here and use that if you like. But you just won't be able to animate it in Premiere Pro the way I have in After Effects. And we'll do that a little later in our tutorials. So I'm going to leave it there, and I want you to get creative and get to this project yourselves and put something together that you enjoy and have fun with. Mine has ended up at 1 minute and 1 minute 12. So it's a few seconds longer than what I hoped, but I got everything in sync, and now it's time to actually export it as a file. So we're going over here to save our work. We'll just go Control S or Command S. File. Oh, wait a minute, we've got to do something else first. We have to render the entire work area. So it'll do it frame by frame. It's very fast with the Mercury render engine in Adobe's Premiere Pro. And then we're going to export the media. And it's coming up as sequence 1, but I'm just going to call it grooving again. Grooving 2. It's going to export it to the Premiere Pro CS5 encoded files, and I'm going to save that. And I've already told it when we set up that I'm going to do it in HDV. Now it's going to do MPEG-4 video for the video, and the audio is going to be AAC. So we're not going to queue This is the Adobe export settings for the Adobe Media Encoder that we've got here, by the way, which is part of the package but a different application. Simply press export. All done. So now what we can do is we'll just go down to our file menu and check in my documents in Adobe Premiere Pro 5, and here we have Groovin 2. And the rest of that you'll be able to see on the companion video that is loaded as part of this post as well, which is just called Dance and Groove, and it's with DJ Kate Munro from Sydney. So that's the end of that tutorial. In this one you've learned how to organize your files in Premiere Pro's workspace itself, and how to composite and how to export your file as a fully rendered video. And that's David Smouha over and out for this one.